This is Loved Without Losing Yourself, a space for women who are capable, intelligent, and accomplished, yet quietly exhausted from holding everything together. Here, we talk about what it really takes to come back to yourself without burning your life down. So, let's begin. A boundary is not a sentence you say to someone else. A boundary is the moment you decide your truth is allowed to exist, even when someone doesn't like it. That's it. That's the whole thing. Everything else, the wording, the tone, the timing, is downstream of whether you've actually made that decision. Today, I want to talk about the boundary you already know you need. And I'm not referring to the easy ones, the ones that say, can we move this to 5 p.m.? But what I'm referring to is the ones that make your chest tighten when you rehearse them in your head and then soften them before they leave your mouth. Here's what I notice with my clients, with myself. You are not avoiding this boundary because you don't know the words. Come on, you've read the books. You know you are allowed to say no. You're an intelligent woman. That was never the gap. The reason for your avoidance is that some part of you knows what it will reveal. It may reveal that a relationship only works when you are the one absorbing the cost. It may reveal you've trained people, both at home and work, to expect access to you without checking if you are available first. It may reveal that what you've been calling responsibility or loyalty or just being the one who's handled it is actually you managing everyone's comfort at your own expense. For many women, boundary avoidance looks like people pleasing. For you, though, it usually doesn't. You are not agreeable out of fear. You are over-functioning because you can, because it's faster, because delegating or asking feels like losing control of the outcome. The pattern isn't weakness. It's a system you built because it worked until it didn't. I will tell you where I saw this most clearly in myself. There was a reason when I was running my business 10 hours a day, raising my kids and carrying the entire household, doing all this while telling myself it was fine that my husband traveled constantly. I told myself I was fine staying home. I convinced myself the hobbies could wait. Nobody sat me down and asked me to give them up. I did that on my own, and I called it flexibility. I wasn't overwhelmed in a way anyone could see. My business was growing, my kids were fine, the house was running. To someone watching me, nothing was wrong. My life was perfect. But somewhere in those 10-hour days, in loneliness during the evenings, in an empty bed, I stopped asking myself what I actually wanted. Some part of me trusted the outcome more when it ran entirely through me. That's not people-pleasing. What it was control wearing the costume of sacrifice. Just because you can carry, it doesn't mean it belongs to you. Say that back to yourself. It's very important to understand it. We confuse capacity with responsibility constantly. Because you are capable, you take it on. Because you can tolerate it, you tolerate it. Because you can function through it, you keep functioning through it. Right up until capacity without discernment becomes over-responsibility. And over-responsibility is one of the fastest ways to lose yourself because it doesn't look like a problem. It looks like competence. A boundary doesn't say, I don't care about you. It says, I care about myself too. Not because of you, not against you, both. A clean boundary has 3 parts. It names the truth without over-explaining. It states what you are or aren't available for. It names the action you will take if the pattern continues. And let me walk you through how this actually plays out, because the version in your head where you say the sentence and it lands cleanly is rarely the version that happens in real time. Let's just say that the boundary is about being the default problem solver at work. Every time something breaks, it lands on your desk and it's not technically your job, but people come to you because you are the one who always finds a way. So you decide the boundary to be you're no longer picking up urgent requests outside your actual scope without checking your capacity first. So next time someone comes, you say it plainly. I can take this on, but not this week. I am at capacity. Can it go to someone else or wait until Monday? And here's what actually happens next. The other person pushes. I really think you are the one who can handle this. Or maybe they go quiet, a little cold, like you've inconvenienced them by having a limit. And this is the moment most women collapse the boundary. They hear the pushback and immediately reach for a longer explanation, a partial yes, and okay, but just this once. The work is staying in the sentence you already said. That's the real work. Not repeating it defensively, not escalating it, just not moving off it. I hear that it's urgent for you. I still don't have the capacity this week. You're not managing the reaction. You are managing your follow through. And the same 3-part structure holds for the version at home. I am happy to talk about this, but not in that tone. If it continues, I am going to end the conversation and we can come back to it later. And then, if the tone continues, actually ending the conversation. You don't threaten, you just do it. Notice what's missing in both examples. The 10 reasons, the pre-apology, the I feel terrible bad. Over-explaining isn't kindness. It's you quietly asking for permission to have a limit. Clarity is what respects the relationship enough not to poison it with resentment later. Some people won't like the boundary, and that's okay. That doesn't make it wrong. It usually means someone has been benefiting from its absence and now has to adjust. Watching who adjusts and who doesn't is not cruel. It's information. And it's often the most honest information you will get out about a relationship. So let's put this through the role framework. Recognize where you're overgiving because you're capable, not because it's yours. Own your part. not the whole pattern, just your participation in it, staying silent, rescuing, over-explaining. Own it. You used to do all this. And then act. Pick one boundary, the one that will give you back the most energy immediately, and make it specific. And most importantly, once you decide, hold it. And lastly, redefine. Stop being the woman who loves by having no limits. Start being the woman who can love by respecting her needs, her time, her limits, without disappearing. That's the framework. You recognize where you're overgiving. You own your part. Once you recognize it, then you act. You pick your boundary. And yet then you redefine your identity. You redefine who you are at your core. Finish this sentence. I am not available for. Fill in the blanks. I am not available for accommodating everyone else's needs at work. I am not available for abandoning my job to last-minute requests. I am not available for conveniencing my husband against my own needs. And then follow with this one. What I am available for is. The second one matters as much as the first. A boundary isn't only what you reject, it's also what you are finally choosing. What I am available for is for me to take half day a week to rest. What I am available for is for me to have space on my calendar daily just for me to relax. What I am available for is to have honest conversation about what is happening in my relationship, about what is happening in my working relationship. Practice these two questions. They are very, very important. I am no longer available for. And once you finish that sentence, what I am available for. And I want to leave you with this question. Where are you calling it responsibility when it's actually control you are not ready to give up? Take some time to think about this question. Write it down, journal around it. Go for a walk and keep asking this question until you notice what comes up. When I asked myself this question, it came up that I wasn't ready to give up my relationship. I wasn't ready to give up my love for my husband. I wasn't ready to give up the fact that he has already walked away. So notice what's come up. And once you do, set your boundary. Choose what you are no longer available for and what you are available for. If this episode named something you've been living but haven't said out loud, I want you to know that this is exactly the work we do in a reset session. We look at where you're over-functioning to stay in control, what is costing you, and the first clean shift back to your own truth. If you're ready for that, the link is in the show notes. And if you're not quite there yet, take the burnout assessment. It's free and it will show you exactly where you're overgiving without realizing it. Thank you for being here. I will speak to you next week. Much love.